Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for our first session of our seated exercise series. For those who may not know who I am, my name is Shelly. I'm a Neuro Physiotherapist and also a staff member at Parkinson Society BC. So I'm just going to wait a couple seconds here in case there are more people trying to sign in and getting the audio up and running. So we'll get started in just a few seconds here. Morning. Well, I guess technically afternoon, depending on when you woke up today, but yes. Okay. Okay, well, before we start our session today, we'll just go over a couple of housekeeping items in case there's anybody new to our webinar platform or new to our classes in general. So for people who have just joined in, my name is Shelly. I'm going to be running the series. I can see a couple of you have already found the chat box, which is great. Now, if you're new to the platform, you should see the chat box opening on the right side of your screen. If you don't see it already opened up, it might be in a little collapsed icon, which is sort of like a blue circle at the bottom of the screen. If you click on that, it should open up the chat box. And the chat box is what you're going to use to communicate with me during the class if you would like to talk to me or ask me a question. Now, of course, when we get moving, I'm going to be further away from the screen, so I won't be able to read the questions then and there. But if you did have questions, I could always get to it at the end of the class. And you'll see if you find the chat box, at the very top of the chat box, I put in our email address, which is info@parkinson.bc.ca. So if you did have any more specific questions or comments or anything that you'd like to let us know, you can always send us an email if you don't feel comfortable typing in the chat box here today. So this series here is the seated exercise series, and we're going to be doing it for 3 weeks, so until the end of this month. So for people who are new to our exercise classes with Parkinson Society, the classes are pretty moderately paced. It's only as challenging as you would like it to be. And given that today's class, it's a seated exercise class, we're not going to be doing any standing. So everything will be sitting down. And if you're new to exercise, don't worry, absolutely fine. We're going to not take ourselves too seriously. We're just going to have some fun and enjoy moving. So I hope nobody feels too intimidated about the exercise class today. But of course, if you've been exercising for a while or you would like a challenge, you can always try to speed things up or give a little bit more effort when we're doing the exercises today. Whereas, if you're new to exercise and you want to take breaks, absolutely fine. Just listen to your body. The most important thing is that we're just having some fun, and I don't want to make anybody feel intimidated about exercise. For people who are looking for a harder class or a standing class, you can always look at signing up for our April Challenger class, which is, as the name implies, starting in April. So if that's something you would like to try, you can definitely sign up for that as well. But the structure of today's class, we're going to be doing a warm-up together, and then we're going to move on to the main part of the exercise class, which is a circuit. So we're going to have 5 different exercises we're doing for 2 minutes each, and then we're going to do that twice through. And then a little cool down at the end. So nice and simple class for you all today. I hope you enjoy it. If you do have any questions, feel free to write it down in the chat box and I can get to it at the end. Today's session is also recorded, so if you did want to revisit the class at any point, you can find this class along with our other recorded exercise classes on our YouTube channel. If you're not sure where to find that, drop us an email and we can always send you the link. Okay, I think most people have logged in. I know some people just signed in a couple seconds ago, but don't worry, you didn't miss much, just some housekeeping items. So we'll get started. I'm going to move back to my chair. I hope you can all hear me and see me okay. If at any point during the exercise class, if you feel like the screen is freezing or the sound is dropping out, refresh the page, okay? Because sometimes when there's a lot of people on the webinar platform, it can get a little bit slow on the platform. Okay. So I'm sitting in my chair. Hopefully you can all see me and hear me okay. Now, for our exercise class today, we're going to be sitting in a chair, as the series name implies. If you can, ideally, sit in the chair without armrests, that would be great, just so that way we don't hit our elbows and arms and things like that as we move along the class. But of course, if you only have a chair with armrests, that's okay as well, no problem. Okay, we're going to start sitting up nice and tall. We're going to shuffle to the front of our chair. So if you're sitting all the way back, I want you to sit up nice and tall, shuffle your bottom forward, so that way you can get your feet on the floor, and so you're not leaning into the chair or slouching in any way. Sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to start here with our marching on the spot. So we're just going to start by lifting up those knees as high as you feel your body can allow you right now, and we're going to swing those arms. And we're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're just going to march on the spot. Now, even though this is a relatively simple movement, we want to make sure as we're marching on the spot, we're not doing this, right? We're not hunching over. We're going to sit up nice and tall, reaching the top of the head to the ceiling, swing those arms, making sure we're not just swinging the arms forward, right? But we're swinging them backwards as well. Good. Lift the knees a little bit higher if you can. Chest up, head up. Good. And now we're going to keep the same marching pattern. We're just going to open the legs. So we go out, out, in, out, out, in. So exactly the same marching pattern. We're just opening and closing those legs. Sitting nice and tall over those sit bones, out, out, in. And of course, if you like to speed anything up we do today, please feel free to do so. I'm going to try to keep my pace a little bit slower just in case anybody is lost. Making sure as we're marching, we're really thinking about lifting those knees. We're not, shuffling the feet along the floor, but we're trying to lift them up nice and high off the floor. Let's do 10 more here. We go 10, sitting up tall. 9, swing those arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, this time we're going to start with the arms across the chest, and we're going to open them up nice and tall, and we're going to lean back, opening the chest, and come back up. Try again. Lifting the arms up to the ceiling, open the chest, and coming back to the middle. So over here, you're trying to make sure your shoulders are not reaching up towards the ears. You want to keep those shoulders down. Reach those arms up as high as you can, opening the chest. 2 more. 1 more. Good. We're going to stick one leg out straight in front of us, opposite arm. You're going to circle back like so. Circling back with the arm, straighten the leg out in front of you. Bring your chest forward towards the leg. Swing the opposite arm up. You should feel a little bit of a stretch here at the back of the thigh. Really thinking about moving through those hips so we're not going like this, right? We want to really hinge at the hips. Moving and sweeping as big as you can possibly go. Good, well done. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. Good. We're going to dig those heels forward in front of us like so. Or tap. Dig is probably not the right word here because we don't want to be pushing that leg forward too much. We want to think about tapping that heel forward. And as we do this movement here, we want to make sure we're sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to bring our hands into fists by our armpits. And we're going to push them forward. Opening the hand, opening the palm. as we're pushing those arms forward, tapping those heels forward at the same time. Good, well done, everybody. Check in with yourself. Are we still sitting up nice and tall, or are we starting to slouch back into the chair? Now remember, if anything we're doing today is too fast for you, don't worry, slow it down. That's okay. Do it at your own pace. As long as we get moving, we just want to have some fun and enjoy moving our bodies. So no reason to get too competitive. You don't have to do it at the same pace as what I'm doing. If you want, you can make it faster, you can make it slower, whatever works for your body today. Okay, we're gonna keep the tap going. Now this time, we're gonna push the opposite arm to leg forward only. So we're not doing both arms now. We're just gonna move the opposite arm to leg forward only. And as you're doing that, we wanna make sure we're really reaching that arm straight, opening the palm, opening the hand, almost like you're about to give somebody a high five in front of you. And as we're tapping our heels forward, we want to make sure we're not sliding the leg forward, but we're lifting it off the floor, lifting it off the floor. Well done. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Arms out into a T shape. We're going to lift the knees and bring the hand towards the knee. Noticing here how I'm opening my arms right back up into a T shape every time. And you want to think about sitting up nice and tall, reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling. So we don't want to be slouching over as we're lifting the knee. You want to think about lifting that knee as high as you possibly can so that it can meet your palm of the opposite hand. Remember, feel free to do the slower or faster, whatever works for you. You don't have to do it at the same speed I'm doing. The important thing here is how tall can you sit? Well done, everybody. We're going to keep this going, but now we're going to bring our forearm to the knee, meaning that you have to just twist your upper body a little bit more to get the forearm to the knee this time. Remembering to open those arms back up into a nice wide T shape each time. Still sitting up nice and tall. Imagine you're balancing a book on your head, so you don't want to get shorter. You want to try to keep as tall as you can over those sit bones. Well done, everybody. We're going to go a little bit further. This time we're doing elbow to knee. If you can, try to get the elbow to touch the knee, opposite elbow to knee. Opening back up into the wide T shape with those arms each time. Is that book still on our head? Or has it fallen to the floor? Keep sitting up nice and tall. Reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Well done, everybody. Let's do last 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop the arms. We're going to now float the arms up, back up to a T shape. And this time we're going to lean to the side, noticing here how my arms are still in a straight line leaning to the side. You want to really feel that stretch on the side of your body. Your chest is facing forward. So I'm not turning the chest down to the floor. We want to keep the chest nice and open. And then we're going to come back up to the middle. Drop the arms for a second. Float them back up. Same thing, tipping over to the other side. Reaching those arms in opposite directions, feeling that stretch on the outside of your torso, chest forward, back to the middle, drop the arms, one more each side, floating those arms up, leaning to one side, stretching the outside of our body,
making sure we're not leaning on the chair. Back's nice and straight. To the middle, drop the arms. One more. Float the arms up. Over to one side. Stretch the side of your body. Make sure your back is not curved, but we're sitting up nice and straight, opening the chest. Back to the middle and drop. This time we're going to float the arms up even higher into a diagonal sort of a V shape. And then we're going to turn our body to one side. So you're rotating the chest over, taking your opposite hand to the hip. Like so, twisting your body over, rotating, sort of like if your spine was a towel and you're wringing it on the spine. And then you're going to open back up to a V shape. Same thing, other side. Rotate your spine over, taking your hand, holding onto the opposite hip. And then back up to the middle. One more each side. Over to one side. Now, if your shoulders are bothering you and you can't lift your arms very high, that's okay. You can keep them low. Doesn't have to be all the way up to a V if you feel you can't. Other side. Feeling that twist, feeling that stretch in your back, sitting up tall. Back to the middle and lower the arms down. We're going to now kick the leg forward in front of us like so. Almost like you're showing me the bottom of your foot, the bottom of your shoes. You're still sitting up nice and tall. Make sure we're not slouching, leaning back into the chair. We're sitting up nice and tall as you kick the leg forward. And now we're going to take our opposite arm to leg and flick it forward. Sort of like if you dipped your arm in paint and you want to flick it off of you onto a blank canvas in front of you. Opposite arm to leg, flicking forward. How are we doing? Still with me? Well done, everybody. Sitting up nice and tall. Feel free to go faster if you like or slower, whatever works for your body today. Well done, everyone. Making sure that our kicks are not getting lower. We're keeping them up nice and high if we can, flicking the opposite arm to leg. Wonderful. Well done. We're going to keep the legs going. This time we're going to flick the opposite arm to the side. So exact same effort movement with that arm, except we're just going to the side rather than forward. Opposite arm to leg, flicking out to the side. Sitting up nice and tall. Show me the bottom of your foot, the bottom of your shoes. Is that invisible book still on top of your head? I know, lots to think about. Doing good. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Okay, hopefully you're a bit more warm. Right, we're going to move on to our circuit now. So we're going to do 5 exercises, 2 minutes each, 2 rounds, okay? So I'm going to show you the first exercise. We're going to start with our legs in together and feet together. If you can't sit with your legs together because you feel a little bit wobbly, separate them a little bit, but I do want you to challenge yourself and try to get them in as close as you can. From here, you're going to bend down over your legs, try to curl up into as small of a ball as you can. Then from here, you're going to lift your leg, open your arm out to the side into sort of like a star position, if you will. And then you're going to lift it up, bring it back into the small ball. Same thing on the other side. Lift and open as wide as you can. Step that leg out as far as you can. And then come back into the middle. Okay, let me show you that again. So you're curling into a small ball. Then you're lifting the leg and stepping out to the side while you're opening the arms, noticing my fingers opening nice and wide. And then lift the leg as high as you can to come back in. Same thing, other side. Lift and reach as far as you can. And then bring it back to the middle. Okay, so it's our big and small exercise here. We're going to get started. So we're going to do 2 minutes. Are we ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. opening those arms, opening those legs, making your movement as big as you can, and then as small as you can. Really feel that contrast in the movement there. We want to make sure we're not in one level the whole time, but we want to start nice and low, and then open up nice and wide, nice and tall, and back in. The bigger the movement, the better. And if you feel you can speed it up, please do. So remember, we're doing 2 minutes per round. So if you do feel like you need a rest in between, feel free to have a rest, but try to get right back into it if you can. We want to challenge our stamina just a little bit as well. How are we doing, everyone? You're a minute in, you got a minute left. Making sure you're opening those arms as wide as you can, stepping that leg out as far as you can, opening the chest, opening the back. Well done, everybody. Making sure you're lifting the leg as high as you can as well off the floor, both to bring the leg out and back in, right? So we're not just lifting the leg to bring it out and then sliding in. We want it to lift back in as well. Well done, everybody. You got about 30 seconds left. Keep it going if you can. Well done, everybody. Keep moving through the movement. Making sure you're really weight shifting here, even though you're sitting down in a chair. Last 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, good. How do we do? Hopefully pretty good. Our next one, we're gonna start with our hands on our chest, lifting the elbows up nice and high, sitting up tall. What we're gonna do here is we're going to kick one of our legs forward while opening the arms. So we're opening the arms like this, but we're rotating the body towards the side that the leg is straightening, right? So we're gonna kick the leg and turn our body towards the side of our straightened leg, like that, okay? So that's the movement, but we want to make it a little bit sharper and a little bit more effortful. So think about how effortful and how sharp you can hit that movement and then come right back into the middle. So it's almost like you want to avoid the transition. As sharp as you can, hold for a few seconds, and then bring it back in again. Okay? So that's the movement, making sure we're lifting the leg off the floor, not onto the floor, sitting up tall, and we're really twisting the body, kind of like what we did in the warm-up a little bit earlier. Okay, sitting up nice and tall. Imagine that book balancing on your head. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Try to make that movement as sharp as you can. Sitting up nice and tall. Imagine that book balancing on your head. I know there's always so many things to think about, but you're doing really good. Keep going. Remember, we're not taking ourselves too seriously. So don't worry if you feel like this movement is really tough. It's meant to be, right? So don't panic. Do your best. We just want to make sure we're having some fun, enjoying moving our bodies today. Well done, everyone. If you feel you can, see if you can twist that body just a little bit further each time. Really reach those arms out, pull them in opposite directions. Well done, you got 1 minute left here. So remember, if you need a break, have a break, but see if you can get right back into it because we want to build that stamina a little bit. Well done. Are we breathing? Is that invisible book still on our head? Making sure we're not slouching into the back of the chair. Really extend the leg, extend the arms away from each other. Well done, everybody. You got 30 seconds left. Keep those elbows nice and high if you can. When you rotate back to the middle, keep those elbows nice and high. You got 10 seconds left. Almost there. And rest those arms. Okay, well done, everybody. That was your second exercise. So we are number 3 now. We're going to open those legs nice and wide, a little bit wider than the chair if you can. So I don't want them too close in together because you'll lose your balance. We want them to be a little bit wider because we also want to practice our weight shifting. So this is our windmill exercise. We're going to get the hands to reach down to one side. So it doesn't matter what side you start with because we'll do both, but you're reaching those fingertips down toward your ankle. And from here, keeping your arms nice and straight, we're going to sweep them up and over to the other side. Sort of like if you're drawing a big rainbow. So we're making sure that we're not moving both of our arms together, right? We're moving them one at a time, like so. And as you're doing this, I want you to really focus on the weight shift that's happening in your bottom. So your sit bones are kind of rocking side to side. So as I'm leaning over to the side, I'm really placing my weight onto the right side, and then I'm moving over to the other side and all the way back again. Oh, I just got a notification up here. Hopefully you can still hear me. Oh, okay, there we go. Good. I had a notification that said my internet was being unstable, but hopefully you heard me there. So again, we're reaching those arms down toward the ankle, and you're moving one at a time up and over, drawing a nice rainbow movement while you're shifting your weight from one hip to the other, right? So really important. You press weight down into one hip, and then we go up and over and shift to the other side. Okay? Good. We're going to get started. I'm going to pull up my timer because it got shut down for a second. Okay. 2 minutes on the clock. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Reaching as far as you can, making sure we're really opening those fingers, spreading the palm nice and wide, all the way up and over. It's sort of like you're almost being lifted off your seat when you're doing this movement. That's how far you should be reaching those fingertips. Moving as big as you can possibly go. Really making sure you're weight shifting from one hip to the other. Well done, everybody. Good job. Keep it going. Reaching up as wide as you can. Moving as big as you can. So remember, Parkinson's makes us move really small, and we want to fight that. We want to go really big. Reaching as far as we can, spreading your fingers, spreading your hands. You've got 1 minute left here. Well done, everybody. Remember, if you need a break, that's okay. Have a bit of a rest, and then come right back in if you can, because you want to build that stamina. Reaching as far as you can with those fingertips. Weight shifting side to side. Feel free to do this faster or slower, whatever works for you today. Remember, we're not taking ourselves too seriously. We're going to mostly have fun with moving our body. We want to feel good by having some movement. Well done, everybody. You've got about 30 seconds left. Ooh, less than that, 20 seconds. Almost there. Well done. Last 10. Make it as good and as big as you can for these last few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Okay, we got 2 more exercises and we're done round 1. You're almost there. Okay, Our next one, our legs are going to be nice and wide again, just like our previous one. Legs wider than your chair width if you can. We're going to bring our arms up into this position, kind of looking like you're a fork or a cactus kind of shape. Arms up, elbows bent. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the same arm and leg and reach them in opposite directions. Let me do that again. So your arm is reaching up across on a diagonal. At the same time, the same leg is going to reach out to the side, and then you're coming back into the middle. Making sure your arms and legs are nice and wide. I don't want to see anybody do this. Want to try to stay up nice and wide. Same thing, other side. Arm reaching across while the same leg is reaching out to the side if you can, and then you bring it back in. So you're reaching across and you're leaning towards one side and then come back in. So as I'm doing this, my bottom is coming off the chair just a little bit on one side. So you really want to play around with that weight shift, keeping your balance as you're reaching. Okay, 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Reaching across as far as you can. Imagine there's something across on the wall there that you really want, and you're going to reach your hand as far as you can and reach that leg away in the opposite direction. So this one might feel a little bit more challenging balance-wise. So by all means, if you want to do it even slower, absolutely fine. The emphasis here is on reaching as far away as you can with both the arm and the leg. So notice here, reaching in opposite directions here, sliding the leg out and reaching that same arm across to the other side. How we doing? Well done, everybody. Hopefully you're not leaning back in your chair. We're not slouching into the back of the chair. We're sitting up nice and tall over those sit bones, trying to transfer our weight from side to side, working on that balance. Who says seated exercises have to be easy, right? Well done, everybody. Reach as far as you can, opposite directions with the arm and the leg. If you need a rest, don't worry. Have a break, and then come right back into it if you can. Well done, everybody. Keep it going. 1 more minute. Reaching across as far as you can. Good job. Making sure we're weight shifting in our chairs. Reaching the arm and leg away from each other. If you can, straighten the leg. Excellent. If you can't, that's okay. Just go as far as you feel you're able to without losing your balance. Last 15 seconds. Last 10. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, well done. Right, we got our last one here before we do our round 2. So the next one here, we're gonna lift our bottom off our seat like this, and then we're gonna sit back down. Now, let me show you from the side. So we're going to lift our bottom off the seat. So you're gonna hover your bottom off the seat for a second or two, and then sit back down. Now, as we're doing this movement, if you can not use your arms, that would be best. If you can do this without using your arms, great. But if you need to use your arms, that's okay as well. But what we're going to do here is we're going to lift our bottom up, and then we're going to clap the hands forward and then sit back down. Lift the bottom up, clap the hands forward, and then sit back down. Okay, so like this. Now, if you need to use your hands, that's okay. Use your hands to lift your bottom up. And then if you can't take your hands off the chair, I want you to clap each arm forward like this and then sit down. So let me turn forward so you can see me again. So couple options. Lift your bottom without your arms if you can. Clap those hands forwards and sit back down. If you need your arms and you need them there to hold you up, that's okay. One arm at a time, like this, okay? And then sit back down. Make sense? I'm gonna go on a bit of a diagonal here so that way you can see me in case you get a little bit lost. Okay, 2 minutes on the clock. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're gonna try to lift the bottom as high as you can. Lean your chest forward. So don't be afraid to lean forward, right? Because if our center of gravity is too far back in the chair, it's gonna be very hard for us to do this movement. So you wanna make sure you're leaning forward, sort of like if you're looking at your shoelaces. So remember, if you can't take your arms off of the chair and you can't clap forward, that's okay. Do one arm at a time. So hold your arms onto the chair for support and one hand at a time. That's fine as well. As long as when we're reaching, we're straightening those arms. So we don't want the arms too close to us. We want to really reach them away as far as we can. Well done, everyone. You got about a minute left, and then we're done with round 1. Try to keep those elbows straight if you can as you swing them forward to clap, and then swing them back again. So you're trying to lift your bottom without your arms, and then sit back down without your arms as well. Remember, you don't have to do it quite as fast. You can do it slower if you like. Well done, everyone. You've got about 30 seconds left. You're almost there. Try to use your muscles in the legs to hover the bottom, even if you've got your arms there to support you. See if you can bring your chest forward over your feet a little bit further. How are we doing? You got 7 seconds left. You're almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. How are we feeling? Hopefully you're still with me. Okay, that was round 1. So we got one more round to do and then our cool down. So 5 exercises, one more time, and then we're finished. So you're almost there. You can see the finish line. Okay, so we're going back to exercise 1. We start with our legs in together. This is our big and small exercise. So remember, we started curling into a ball over our legs. And then from here, we're gonna lift one of our legs and reach out to the side. And then bring that leg back into that small ball. And then again, you're lifting and opening out to the side. And then coming back in. Do you remember this one? Yes. Okay, we're gonna get started. 2 minutes. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So even though this is our second round and you might be feeling a bit tired now, but try your best to finish the class if you can. You're gonna lift those legs out as wide as you can and lift them as high as you can. Opening those arms, opening the fingers, weight shifting from side to side. Try to open that chest if you can. Reach those arms in opposite directions. Well done, everybody. Keep it going. See how far you can step that leg out to the side. How far can you lean? You got 1 minute left. Doing good, doing good. Remember, if you need to stop for a break, that's okay. You can stop. Try to get right back into it if you can, so we can work on that stamina. But most importantly, we don't want to be taking ourselves too seriously. We want to have fun with this movement as well. Good, you're almost there. 30 seconds. Doing really good, everybody. Keep reaching, stepping that leg out to the side. Weight shifting in our seat. 15 seconds, you're almost there. Really feel that contrast in movement. 10 seconds, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, how are we? How are we feeling? Okay, our second exercise. Hands on our chest, elbows out nice and wide. This is the one where we're gonna kick our leg forward, and at the same time, we're rotating our body to the same side. Let me move forward, otherwise I'm hitting my window here. So you're kicking that leg forward, and you're opening those arms out, reaching the arms in opposite direction, making sure you're turning toward the leg that's straightening and coming back in. Kicking the leg forward, reaching, rotating your body toward the side of that straightened leg and back to the middle, trying to make that movement as sharp as you can and as effortful as you can, almost like you're flicking paint off of your arms every time you're opening them out to the side. Okay, are we ready? 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, and go. Making sure we're sitting up nice and tall. Imagine you still have that book balancing on your head. So you don't want to be getting lower in our seats as we're doing this movement. So even when we're rotating, we're going to try to be nice and tall. Keep those elbows up if you can. Shoulders away from the ears. Keep that neck nice and long. Rotating your body. It's okay if you can't rotate very far, absolutely fine. Just try your best. Go a little bit further each time if you can, sitting up nice and tall, making the movement as sharp and as effortful as you can. Well done, everybody. Doing really good. I know it's getting harder because it's our second round, but you're almost there. 1 minute left. Keep it going. Try to keep up the effort level, reaching those arms away in the opposite direction, kicking that leg in front of you. Show me the bottom of your foot, the bottom of your shoes. Well done, everybody. Remember, if you need to stop for a break, stop for a break, and then come right back in if you can. 30 seconds left. Doing really good, everybody. I know it feels tough. You can do it. You can do it. Almost there. 20 seconds. Breathing. Sitting up nice and tall. 15 seconds. Last 10. Well done, everybody. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Whew. Okay. We've got 3 exercises left, and then we're going to move on to our cool down. So you're almost there. Okay. Our next one is our windmill. So we're going to open those legs nice and wide. So remember, not too close. Got to get them a bit wider so that way we can really work on the weight shift transfer here. We're going to reach those arms nice and long, down toward one ankle. And then from here, we're going to go up and over with our arms, almost like we're drawing a big rainbow, keeping the chest forward, making sure the rainbow that we're drawing is actually an arc shape rather than a square, right? So we don't want to just go up and over like this. We want to really reach, making sure there's no corners here. We're really reaching up on the arc shape movement here. Reaching those fingers, open the hand, transferring your weight from side to side as we're doing this movement. Are we ready? 2 minutes, you can do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Reaching up as far as you can, drawing a rainbow with those fingertips. You want to almost feel like you're going to be lifted off your seat. That's how far we're reaching up and over. Maybe it will help if you look up at your fingers as well as you're doing this. Or if it makes you feel dizzy, then don't do that. But if you feel like it helps, then please do let your eyes follow your hands, reaching as far as you can. Really feeling your sit bones move from side to side on the seat. You're bringing the pressure onto the sit bones side to side as you're doing this. How are we doing, everybody? You're 1 minute in. You've got 1 minute left. You're almost there. After your windmill exercise, we've got 2 more and then our cool down. So you're almost there. See if you can reach a little bit further each time. Transfer your weight a little bit further each time. Opening your hand wider each time if you can. Doing really good, everybody. You're almost there. Got 30 seconds left. Reaching as far as you can, making sure your upper body is actually going side to side as well. We want the up and over quality. Well done. 15 seconds. Almost there. Last 10. Well done. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Okay. How are we feeling? Maybe a bit tired, but you're almost there. 2 more exercises and then our cool down. You're almost there. Okay, our next one, we're going to open those legs nice and wide. Arms are going to be bent and lifted up to your side, opening that chest, shoulders away from the ears. From here, you're going to take your arm, you're going to reach it across to the opposite corner of the room while the leg on the same side is reaching out to the side like this. So you're reaching the arm up and over, and the same leg is reaching out to the side. So a bit of coordination for you here as well. Okay, so 2 minutes on each side. Make sure your legs are nice and wide, because if they're together like this, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to move, whereas if they're wider, you can really lean and reach and move across and challenge you a little bit more. Are we ready? 2 minutes on the clock. You're almost done. 3, 2, 1, and go. So this one is similar to the windmill in the sense that you're transferring your weight from one side of your hip to the other side of your hip. So really feel like you're rocking side to side on your sit bones here. Reaching the fingertips away each time. So make sure your hand is not closed. We want to keep the palm open, keep the fingers open, and reach on a diagonal as far as you can. Imagine there's something almost on the wall that you want to reach for. Maybe it's $1 million, I don't know. Or maybe it's a vaccine. But you're reaching as far away as you can. Reaching the opposite leg as well. Or sorry, the same leg in the opposite direction is what I mean. Good. You got less than a minute left. Almost there. Keep reaching. Sliding that leg away. Feel that stretch on the side of your body. Leaning side to side. Working on that balance, on that coordination. Well done. 30 seconds. Almost there. Make sure our legs are still wide. Arms open wide. Chest open. Well done, 20 seconds. Doing really good, everybody. Almost there. 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, whew. How are we feeling? One more exercise. Okay, I'm turning on a diagonal so you can see me. So our last exercise of our circuit is going to be the one where we lift our bottom off the chair without holding on if you can, and then clapping those arms in front and then sitting back down. Remember this one? So without the arms if you can, clap the arms in front and sit back down. Now, if you need to use your hands, that's okay. Use your hands to lift your bottom up, and then you can reach one arm at a time, kind of like you're about to give someone a high five, but sideways in a way, and then sit back down, okay? Okay, so for this one, it's really important you try to bring your chest forward over your feet. So I don't want to see anybody do this, right? This is very difficult because your weight is all the way back in your seat. But you got to send your center of gravity forward over your feet in order to get that balance and be able to use those leg muscles to hold yourself up. Okay, 2 minutes. Last exercise of the circuit, and then we're going to do a cool down. You're almost there. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So you can do whichever version works for you, either with or without your arms, clapping forward with 2 hands or 1 hand at a time. It doesn't matter, whichever one you feel works for you today. Trying to bring your weight forward over your legs if you can. If you can't lift the arms forward, even if you were holding down onto your chair like this, that's okay. You can just lift your bottom and sit back down without the arms as well if you like, as long as we keep moving. How are we feeling, everybody? So remember, you don't have to do this super fast. You can slow it down if you like. Or if you're really going for a challenge, by all means, feel free to do this quicker if you like. We're almost there. We've got 1 minute left. Well done, everybody. Keep trying to bring that chest over your feet, almost like you're about to look down at your shoelaces. Doing really good. Got 30 seconds left. Almost there. Reach a little further if you can with those claps. Keep those arms straight. Think about pushing down into the floor with your feet in order to lift your bottom off the chair. So think push down into the floor, growing roots down into the floor. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done, everybody. Whew. Okay. Sitting forward in our chair, arms relaxing by your side, feet planted firmly onto the floor. We're going to sweep those arms down and open them up overhead, stretching your back, opening your chest, lowering them down. And again, sweeping those arms down and up, opening your chest, leaning back just a little bit to stretch your back. 1 more, sweeping down, reaching up, and opening the arms. Float the arms out to the side, straighten one leg in front of you, sit nice and tall, reach the opposite arm towards that leg, and then open back up. Same thing, other side. Straightening the leg, reaching the opposite arm down to the foot to feel that stretch of the back of the thigh, and return to neutral. A couple more here, sitting up nice and tall, reaching the opposite arm to the leg, opening back up. One more. Straightening that leg in front of you, reaching the opposite arm to the leg, opening back up, and bring the legs down. From here, you're going to bring one leg out to the side if you can. If you can't bring it out to the side, bring it forward on a diagonal. That's okay as well. You're going to try to keep that leg as straight as you can. Sit up nice and tall, hinge forward at the hips in order to feel a bit of a stretch on the inner thigh, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back to the middle. Same thing, other side. Straighten that leg either out to the side or on a diagonal, whichever works for you. Keep your back up nice and straight. Hinge forward at the hips, leaning forward with that spine nice and long to feel a stretch on the inner thigh. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. From here, we're going to try and stretch the fronts of our thighs. It's going to be a little bit challenging in a chair, but what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to turn your body to one side like this. Can you see? So I turned, my chair stays where it is, but I've just turned my body on a bit of an angle here. And then the front leg, you're going to drop that knee down towards the floor. You can lean back in the chair. So dropping that front knee down to the floor. And I want you to lean back into the chair as far as you can. Really open up the front of the hip. And you should feel stretch there, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up. Same thing on the other side. Turn yourself over to the other side. Same thing, front knee, reaching down to the floor as far as you can. Lean back into the chair to open the front of your hip, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back up. And now we're going to bring your hands to prayer. Lift the elbows out to the side. Press the hands into the chest. We're going to rotate our body over to one side. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle. Same thing, other side. Rotating over, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle. Drop the arms, and you are done. Thank you, everybody,